If you are one of those people who says, "I wish I could stay in bed forever every morning," I totally get you, and I have great news for you. There are people who are willing to pay you for just that. Those people are NASA and the European Space Agency. They are looking for brave people to spend over 2 months in bed for a better life in space and on Earth. And they are willing to pay those people $19,000. Now, they are offering this opportunity not as a well-deserved rest for lucky chosen ones, but to examine the changes the human body goes through when weightless. By doing so, they hope to be able to invent some new methods that can neutralize the impact of special space mode on astronauts. When I heard all about this, I was honestly about to hit the apply button, but then I thought, it sounds too good to be true. Yeah, I'm a healthy skeptic. So I looked into some of the details and realized this is not exactly an opportunity for everyone. Plus, it has some serious strings attached. You have to be a healthy, physically fit, non-smoking lady aged 24 to 55. And if that sounds doable, there's one more requirement. You have to be able to speak German. So let's suppose you got in. Is it all going to be Netflix and video games? Well, it doesn't look like Netflix is totally excluded, but you'll have to watch it, as well as eat, shower, and go to the bathroom while inclined at 6 degrees with your head end downward and always in bed. You'll be staying in a little single room for 15 days of preparation, 60 days of bed rest, and 14 days of after rest and rehab. So that makes a total of 89 days without getting out or having any privacy whatsoever. Scientists will obviously monitor your activities 24/7 because that's part of the deal, you know. Your diet will not be super exciting either. Nutritionists will control the fluids and nutrients you get, but don't expect them to add sweeteners or anything else that normally makes food yummy. It will all be plain and standardized. And there will be a specially designed short-arm human centrifuge to generate artificial gravity that will be tested on most of the participants every day. Considering the money paid, it still didn't sound too bad to me, so I did some research on the matter. I found out that there was actually a guy who took part in a similar experiment a couple of years ago and shared about his experience online. According to him, there were some serious headaches involved, and his spine didn't exactly have a swell time either. And even though he was in bed all the time, it didn't mean he could sleep as much as he wanted. Sleep time was from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., and there was no napping allowed. It sounds kinda like a mean joke. There was constant monitoring, and he was only allowed to close the curtains to use the bathroom, which he'd do with a special pee jug. The food he'd get just sat in his chest, so he couldn't really enjoy it and got full really quick. But if the research team told him to finish it, he'd have to do it. The scariest part was when the experiment was over and he got to stand up straight again. His heart was pounding at a frightening 150 beats per minute. His skin was all sweaty and itchy. The veins on his legs were about to explode with the flow of blood they received after months of lying down. It got even worse a few minutes later, and researchers had to put him back into a horizontal position before he fainted. So, okay, I thought. Maybe the guy just wasn't prepared for the challenge. After all, the agency's website says that it's about showing resilience and getting to know yourself better on the medical side in a stress-free environment where you can forget about cooking or cleaning for 89 days. What if I decided to stay in my own bed for 2 months in preparation for the experiment? That's a flat and not a tilted bed, to be clear. So I did my research, and here's what will happen to you if you decide to lay flat in bed for over 60 days. First of all, you'll get so weak you wouldn't be able to lift your laptop off your lap to watch Netflix. That's because when you aren't moving, your muscles lose 10 to 15% of their original strength every week. So after 4 weeks, you'd be half as strong as you used to be before the experiment. It takes a lot of effort and time to cure this muscular atrophy, so keeping your balance and coordination would be a real nightmare. Second, your bones would lose their density and you would break them with even the slightest fall. Your joints would deteriorate with no movement. The muscles in your shoulders, knees, and hips would become shorter, and the connective tissue in them would get thicker, so walking would basically become an impossible task. And even though these consequences aren't visible, there is one nasty thing you won't be able to ignore. Bed sores caused by the pressure and limited blood flow to the skin will quickly pop up on your knees, elbows, tailbone, heels, ankles, and shoulder blades. Bed sores always get worse in stages. It all starts with redness, inflammation, itching, and burning where the bed sores are. Then, as it gets deeper, skin breaks and ulcers come out. Ugh. If you don't stop the bed sores at this time, it can take 3 months to a year to heal them completely. This is not where it all ends either. You'll also have some problems with your heart since it will have to beat quicker to pump the blood trying to save your life. The rate will increase at 1 beat per minute every 2 days. There will be extra fluid in your lungs because your muscles will fail to remove it as they should. This means your breathing will get shallow and you'll put yourself at risk of pneumonia. Fat levels in your body will go up and your endurance will go down. Finally, you're likely to experience apathy, depression, or panic attacks, since your brain will be quite confused by this experiment as well. So before you decide to learn German real quick and apply for the job, think twice. After all, there are nicer and easier ways to make cash. For example, you could try winning a hot dog eating contest and see where it takes you. Would you like to take part in such an experiment? Do you think you'd survive? Let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to give this video a like, share it with your friends, and click subscribe to stay on the bright side of life.